Welcome to this segment of the video where we want to just have a little bit of emphasis or extended discussion on the link between business strategy and operational strategy. So there are three columns here. Basically, the 3 points I want to talk about here: the what, the why, and the how. Right. So the what is what we're talking about here. The link between them. How does the macro business strategy link with the lack of a better word, micro or internal operations strategy? So remember what's the strategy, the word. You have a first have a vision, right? What kind of state of affair, right? A better state of affair do you want to do you foresee? Do you want the company to have? And so that's a vision, right? So we have a there and then. That's the vision, and strategy describes or is the roadmap to say how you go from the here and now to the there and then. Right, so that's the roadmap or the growth plan, so to speak. So that's the business strategy. So the vision is really up to the CEO or the manager, the management, and so it can be anything, right? So it may it may be so so far ahead that it becomes almost impossible to achieve, right? So it becomes not so much a feasible vision. So vision is kind of achievable, but then you still have to say how, right? So here, once we have the business strategy, you want that strategy to communicate with your customers, right? So you want that to communicate in the sense of delivering value, will speak to the customer. And of course, uh, there are multiple axes. There are things like financially, how do you position yourself? You know, value wise, how do you position yourself? And brand wise, how do you position yourself? So here, from the lean operations perspective, we want to say the look at through the four lenses. Remember the cost, quality, response time, and the variety. Right. So flexibility is tied to responsiveness. Time is tied to response time, and variety. So the four angles. Remember that we talked about cost, quality, variety, and either flexibility or response time. So which one does the strategy play emphasis on? So if you're saying or telling your customers, buy me because I'm the lowest price in the market. I'm Walmart, right? For example, uh, does Walmart deliver quality? Well, the quality is of course quality. Remember, quality from the operations perspective is meeting specification. So we have a low specification, right? And if you sell at a low price and you meet that low specifications, then that's good. For example, if it is um, some sort of a business snack, sorry, biscuit stack, right? So uh, does it taste good? Well, it's okay, right? But it's not super. There's chocolate taste, but it's not like the premium chocolate kind. So is it able to give us some relief of our hunger, right? And that when we're hungry, we want to eat a bit of a snack. Does it deliver that value? Yes. Then that's good, right? So it is sold at $2, very low price compared to a premium chocolate cookie that is $10, right? So both deliver quality because they are meant for uh, different customer segments, if you want to put it that way, right? So the specification, the specification of the biscuit, the content inside, one is low, one is high, right? So, but both are quality, both are quality, both are meeting the quality in that sense. So when we say we win by low cost, it means that we are having a low specification, but we are selling it at quality, because it is edible biscuit, is not poison, right? So a $1 toy, I always like to give this example since we're talking about this. A $1 toy, right, like Ultraman toy, and meant for the kids to play. And when you play, it's able to be moved around the arms and the legs a little bit. But after moving around 5 times, 10 times, the legs fall apart, right? The head drops out. Okay, so a kid that walks past this Ultraman, makes noise and wants the mom to buy the Ultraman for $1. Is that Ultraman toy selling at $1? Is that a quality toy product? Answer is yes, right? The mom is willing to, you know, pay for it. Why? Because it's low price. And while the mom thinks, well, I buy the I know my kid will play around and then either lose it somewhere, forgot, tear it apart, and then the joy is over for one day or even 1 hour, right? But therefore, I want a low price toy to appease my little kid, right? So it is serving a value to the mom. Is it serving a value to the kid? Yes, obviously, right? Because that's why the kid wants. So mom bought, and the kid, opens it up, plays around with it, move it 5 times, 10 times, the legs actually fall apart, head drops out, and by then the kid is already satisfied, and so throws it away. Okay, so is that Ultraman toy a good product, quality product from lean operations perspective? Yes, it is, because it is meeting the specifications of at uh at market rate sell at $1, right? So market price is $1. My cost has to be at maybe 30 cents, so that selling to distributors, selling to retailers, eventually everyone makes money, right? So mine is 30 cents to manufacture that little Ultraman toy product. And I can make it because at such a low, you know, total production cost to me, and I also want some profit from that 30 cents. So my total purchase of raw product and salary and what must be even lower than that, right? Maybe even 15 cents or 20 cents, right? So I make a 10-cent per little Ultraman toy. And so is it possible to do it? And yes, I made it. I made it to spec, and therefore allowing the final retailer to sell at $1. So is it a quality product? Yes, from the operations perspective. Okay. All right. So that's the whole idea about quality. Now, what about our layman's idea of quality? Wow, so premium, right? So luxurious, such high price, right? And we typically call that quality, whereas others are not quality. And while that is true, from Lean's perspective, sure, highly priced products, they are, by and large, 99% of them, quality as well. But what's the distinction here? The distinction is that the specifications are of much higher uh, level than the lowly priced quality products. So what are quality products? In fact, all products that you see on the shelves, they are quality products, because if nobody buys, then the retailers will promptly remove them from the shelves. Shelf spaces are very expensive, or premium estate, right? So everything that gets sold is quality product. From the process operations lean perspective, it is quality product. The only difference is that low spec versus high spec. So milk powder, for example, the usual milk powder, lower price milk powder, low spec, right? Just gives you the calories, right? Just makes you feel filled, right? And high spec, maybe they are mixed with vitamin, with protein, with all the good stuff, and sold at twice the price, of the same size of a low spec milk product. So why is it able to sell? Because there are people who don't mind paying more for high spec. We would say, layman would say, quality milk, right? As if the other milk that don't have all these good stuff inside, they are low quality. And that's the layman's way of talking about high quality, low quality. But both are quality products, right? Because they meet different expectations. They deliver different values. To some, for example, I don't know, maybe students, right? They might say, I just need to fill my stomach. I don't need all that good stuff, because I even suspect that manufacturers put those names there because I don't feel it. I don't feel like I've taken in extra omega-6 or protein or vitamin. How come you charge me twice as much, right? I just want to save money, but I want milk, right? That's all. So I buy that. And of course, both are quality, because after drinking, we we are okay. It's not poison, right? There is no metal debris. there is no hooks mixed inside the powder. That's so scary, isn't it? So both are quality products. They just meet different value expectations from the customer. So you buy me because I'm low priced, or low because I can deliver at internal low cost and therefore low price in the market, or buy me because I'm a high spec product manufacturer, right? I'm a high spec. Like for example, buy me because I'm Rolex. Buy me because I'm BMW, right? BMW, obviously anybody would say quality product, right? Because they go through uh, QC, stringent and all that. But then so are the cars from, I shouldn't be saying brand, but so are the cars from XYZ, from somewhere. I shouldn't be saying the country, right? So are cars manufactured from XYZ manufacturer who is selling at market price like half the price of a BMW, right? So is that a lousy car? No. From lean perspective, it is a quality product because there are individuals or family who wants just a basic transportation, and could I'm not talking about performance racing whatnot. I just want to go safely from point A to point B. So that is meeting the value expectation from the customer. So that's quality, right? So here the quality is referring to high spec, high spec quality. So buy me because I'm high spec, highly specified, highly with high specifications, right? High specification product producer or service deliverer, right? Bank with DBS, for example, bank. So put your money or put your wealth with DBS Bank. Why? Because we are a quality uh, wealth manager, right? Uh, why is it quality? Because financial is about services, right? So why is it quality? Because we are branded. Look at our rank, right? Safest bank in Asia, for example, right? So those are trying to show you that we are a high spec customer service provider, financial services provider, right? Go with us because we have very good response time. Our customer service ranked number one. Who needs a lot of customer services, right? Well, maybe hospitals. The response time is good, for example. You don't have to wait very long to see the doctor. That might be a winner, right? Our doctors are highly trained and very reputable and very experienced. That's high spec. That's quality. So, but then the customer service, so the system itself, the hospital itself, right? Responsiveness very high, very reactionary, very uh, 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 reacts very well, right, to changes of customer services, customer requests. So airlines, for example, yeah, they tend to like Singapore Airlines, they tend to get like the first top or top three or top two um, best airline in the world uh, for many years, and a lot of it depends on customer reaction. Yeah, so passengers who have taken the airlines, not one, not two, but in the thousands, right? So over so many surveys and results, all give high marks to the customer service. That is to say that whenever there are changes, right, customers, business customers, business passengers, I have a meeting, but then the meeting was postponed. So can I change my flight to 3 days later? If you say no, you pay another ticket, then of course, I feel as a customer, I feel a little bit not fair, right? Because I really didn't want to change, right? But of course, the airline also wouldn't feel very sure whether this is a genuine request or you just somehow made up the excuse. And they are not there to police or investigate this kind of excuses. Yeah. So to believe you will invite a lot of people who are trying to fake excuses and therefore postpone here, postpone there. Then they will lose money, right? Because there'll be empty seats. And if they react and if they allow, that kind of request, that will invite those things. If they don't, then it will upset the customer, right? So how do you handle this properly in a way that both the customers are happy and you don't incur a lot of costs. Obviously, to make or to accommodate such last minute changes, there's always a cost. Yeah. And in the worst case is that seat that has been purchased will go empty for this flight, right? Yeah, because the passenger has postponed the flight. So all these require very good management, and as I discussed before, to have good response time demands that or requires that you have very good internal processes so that you react very well because it doesn't incur a lot of costs when it is perceived to incur a lot of costs, but you manage it so well that you are okay, right? And variety, buy me because, or come to me, typically a service, right? Or buy my brand because I allow interchanging, right? And for example, batteries. Buy me Sony, for example, right? Because my cameras all share the same kind of battery. So if you want vlog camera, you buy this, and you can buy because you need prolonged filming, right? So you buy a lot of batteries, and now you want a special what do we call that? Uh, Single lens reflect SLR, right? SLR camera, and you want to buy another camera with long telescope and whatnot. You buy another few other cameras, and you worry about having to buy multiple sets of battery, right? Don't worry, buy me because I have a variety of offerings, but they all have this common battery slot, so you can just interchange them. Oh, that's good news, right? That's well designed and variety. And if you change brand from Sony to Canon or to Nikon, then obviously the batteries, the pins won't match, and you have to buy all over again, right? The supporting accessories. But buy me because I have a lot of variety of camera support stands, covers, lenses. They all have the same diameter for fixing, so you can interchange them easily. Oh wow, that's fantastic right now, yeah. So buy me because I have a lot of variety. Which one are you? So that's the desire, huh? That's the positioning, strategic positioning. What lens or what angle are you exceeding in the minds of your intended customers? So that's the one you want to think about. And then of course your internal, right? When I discuss response time, for example, your reactionary measures, you are able to do well because your internal processes support you in doing that. Now, remember we talked about Little's law just now about inventory, right? So your processes have very little to none on the conveyor belt, right? Very little inventory. And so whenever there's a change that forces you to have to discard everything on the conveyor belt and restart everything again, you react very nicely to the customer. The customer will think, oh, so sorry, I'm so sorry, so apologetically, right? I'm so sorry because I really didn't want to make this change, but can you just reduce my purchase quantity by half and not charge me for the rest, right? Yes, but next time please don't do it, right? Oh wow, you're so understanding. Yeah, why? Because we have very solid internal processes, typically supported by technology. So very solid internal processes. That's why to discard everything is to discard one or even half a unit. So no, nothing at all. It's not like we have to throw away 100 units, right? So that's why we are okay. So your internal design, so internal measures here refer to the process design. Obviously, there are many more things. Like if you're doing a HR course, then there'll be talents and training and all that stuff, right? But we're just focusing on the process design. So our process layout, the design of our process, including individual resource capacities, the layout, right? We so far have been talking about sequential, but of course there can be Y splitting, the letter Y. So there can be Y or even multiple splitting. So one initial processing, and then it splits right into 4 different segments for 4 different products. So it can get more complicated, but no matter what, your flow time, flow rate, and inventory, they are nicely managed and controlled. So we can support, low cost, high quality, high responsiveness, or high variety, right? So whatever it is that your business strategy dictates. Now, of course, here these 4 axes you might wonder if that is covering the whole universe. And please let me try to be honest here. It is not. So the four X's, for example, we haven't talked about sustainability. Is it environmentally by me because I'm environmentally clean, right? I am using all the uh, what do you call it? Recycled products, recycled materials. Buy me HP because my printer, plastic, toner, cartridges, everything, 80% made up of recycled material. And there are customers who say, wow, that's good. I will support you, HP, right? And buy HP because of that. Because of that, right? So we haven't talked about those. But let's start with just these four. Is that okay with you? All right. So we also don't want to have so like 10 different X's and then put them in exam questions, right? So let's start with these four. And every time we look at the company, we want to say, where are you? Why are your customers buying your product? Right? And so we can then start from these four. And why are these measures important? I put them in red here. Here, the invisible answers, that is, can be used to improve processes, right? We wouldn't know that if we don't see it, because we can use flow time, flow rate, inventory, all these to improve the performance of our processes. What is the improvement? Improvement, of course, remember our first lessons discussion. Improvement in the sense of creating more value for our customers. Reducing the waste doesn't mean increasing the value of customers. So importantly, we want to increase the value of the customers, okay, by reducing the waste and any other steps necessary to ultimately increase the value proposition, our values, the values delivered to our customers. Can be controlled. That's important, right? Because no point talking about things like increase FR demand. That means make our customers buy more. Of course, if you attend another marketing lesson, they say, yes, can be, because that's what marketing is for, right? But marketing is to increase the probability of them wanting more. There's no guarantee, right? It's still trying to say, please, right? Buy us, please, right? But it may not result in anything. So, FR demand is not so controllable by us. But then all these flow time, flow rate, inventory, yes, controllable. And so how do you control them? That's another question. But importantly is you can. If you don't know how to control them, at least you can hire an expert or consultant to help you do that, right? They are also leading indicators. Leading indicators means they show up first, then you can expect something to happen to customer satisfaction. For example, we managed to reduce our year-end report, right? Operations manager. We managed to reduce our WIP. Remember those semi-completed stuff on the conveyor belt, right? So we managed to reduce our WIP from 1.2 units last year to 0.72 units this year. Yay! Why is that good stuff? Well, remember, because lower inventory allows or supports, right? Allows the customer service managers to smilingly say yes to last minute customer changes in quantity in their demand, right? So you are highly able to react to unreasonable last minute changes in the demand quantity. So that is very important, right? So it's a leading indicator. If your inventory report is, or rather your annual report says, unfortunately, right, our WIP went from last year's 0.8 to this year's 1.5. Then it is a leading indicator. It's trying to say that, hey, danger, because our customer service managers might not be able to say yes to our customers' changes. Our customers may be antagonized, and do be prepared to receive a lower score for our customer satisfaction in the upcoming survey, right? So it's a leading indicator. And of course, if customers are not satisfied, then won't try to buy from you unless they are locked down by other membership or I don't know loyalty discount, right? But that is as soon as it's over, they will run and abandon ship, right? So and they will also go by word of mouth, telling their friends through their blogs, through their online social posts, please, please, please don't buy from this. This company is always doing this, right? So financially, there may be an implication. Okay, quickly let's talk about the why. Okay, so the why part is in a way quite self-explanatory because if we recognize the link, right, is so important, the business strategy and the process uh, as part of the operation strategy, the link is so important, then it is, you know, quite obvious in a way that uh, we can only deliver what we are capable of delivering. And so the processes determine how value is added and how costs are incurred. And so you have to manage it, to actively manage it, and to continuously, that's more important word than the word managing. We want to manage, means we will, at the right time, at the right place, you know, uh, uh, check or touch up the tuning knobs so that the process is running more efficiently. If it's starting to gear off, then we need to gear it back again, right? So we need to manage, yes. But important thing is it's not a one-time affair. It's not a once a year affair. It's not an annual report affair. It's a daily, if not even in real time, continuous affair. Also, continuously improving processes. This is the keyword continuously because operations is 24 by 7 by 365. No news is good news in operations. So because when there's accidents, right, machines jam, then everybody is alerted. Even 3 a.m. in the morning, you better wake up and attend to it. So because every hour that is down may cost the company thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So you have to immediately stand. So just imagine, right? Um, when there was a report on DBS Bank services outage, that means all of a sudden, you know, thousands of customers in the evening or at night, right, suddenly cannot check their balances, suddenly cannot transfer funds because the internet banking services were just out, just somehow cut off, right? Now, of course, if we don't know better, we might panic. We might say, "Oh, what happens? Is it me? My account got frozen or whatnot?" Right? So this is a very serious accident. So when it happens at 2 a.m. in the morning, can you say, don't disturb me, right? You have to react immediately. And so for banks, they have to have continuous uh, monitoring, right, of the operations of the not factory, but IT infrastructure. But that's just the same because it has to be a smooth, no news is good news thing. And if you operate as is, for example, you have these features in your internet banking app, right? You can transfer, you can pay money, you can check account, finish, 3 features, right? And then you are done. You keep doing that. That's fine, but not good enough. We're talking also about improving the processes. How can I make this app more convenient to the customers, to the users, to my customers? So as time passes, you see more features being put inside, right? Please upgrade the app because we have just uh, delivered some more features and fix some bugs and here and there, right? So and then you check back again, you realize, oh, I can also apply for gyro transaction. I can also top up my PayLah. I can also do pay now transfer. Yeah, some of these things are great, right? You might not find useful, but some users find it useful, and so that's good stuff. So continuously improving the processes is the key. Might even become the competitive advantage. And otherwise, so poor performance, right, will be bad if you fail to manage your process. Then you're allowing it to degrade unknowingly. You don't even know it. Nobody knows it, and it's degrading gradually. Only your customers are suffering, right? And you have poor or no customer feedback services, so you don't even know. You don't even hear grouses from them. So the outputs that don't meet customer requirements. So there is a new brand, new design of a model, and then it didn't get checked or feedback or prototype or trial run and just sent for mass production. And then of course the whole mass produced goods have to be destroyed, right? Or written off because nobody wants. It's not meeting the customer's requirements. That's bad. So you want to improve the design process. Yeah. Um, even famous designers, right, who have track records might end up out of genuine 100% goodwill created a very what he thinks is a very innovative design only to flop right in the new market or may not get accepted by the current customers. So anything can happen. You just need to have a process. So if anything this top designer creates will be sent for mass production because any checks on him is disrespectful. And that's no good from the lean perspective. Because it gets mass produced, and what if it is rejected by the market? Then the whole set of mass produced goods are destroyed, right? So we need to check QC and then prototype, trial run, right? Sell to small loyal fans, sell to small groups of opposing fans who don't like our products, but they turn out they like this, right? Something like that. So we start to gather more data. So that's the process that we're talking about. Has to be there. Activities within processes that do not directly support, right? You have more activities, they just go about doing their things. Like for example, QC1, QC2, QC3. Well, okay, fine, right? Because probabilistically, even after quality check, there's a small tiny little chance that your product is still defective, right? So you install QC2, QC3. But look, if after QC1, the probability of a defect is 0.0000001, like 1 in a million, right? And then you install QC2, and then you install QC3. You want to make that like 1 in a what? 1 in a trillion, and then 1 in a trillion. Are you going to make a trillion unit of production after 10 years or 30 years or 50 years, right? We're planning too far ahead, right? Maybe the QC2, QC3, they are just redundant. So those are activities that don't really add more value, right? One QC is good, it's almost even necessary, but 3 QCs, so activities like that, poor design, right? Poor performance. Adds to longer flow time, correct, right? So the batches that get inspected must sit there and wait for QC2 to get inspected. Then must sit there again for QC3. You are lengthening the time before the batch of goods can be sold to the market. So longer flow time, bad for business. Remember the previous discussion, right? More inventory trapped in the factory. Therefore, less responsive. Okay, inefficient process flows, basically what we have said. And finally, since we understand why now process management is so important, because if you do it, it will never be enough. But if you don't do it, then you're letting things go bad without even knowing. What are the ways to do it? So very quickly, only two categories, the short term and the long term. The short term, you kind of touch up here, touch up there. All right, so you have process flow diagram. The idea is to go grassroots upwards. You look at this resource, that resource one by one. You look at the flow rate, you look at the flow time, right? You look at the training, you look at the manuals, the micros or the micros. So the short term, you can look at the micros, and for the long term, you go top down. So you go from operations plan, operations strategy, right? So business wise, require us to become the uh, market, share leader. Currently, we are number 2. So to become market share leader from our existing market share, we have to increase our production by how much? 100,000 units per year. So if that's the goal, then you look at that plan first. That's top down, right? So look at that goal and then dive down, right? So it goes into, to do that, to have additional 100,000 units per year, we need, you know, larger flow rate, bigger capacity, higher flow rate, and so we need to solve this bottleneck problem. This is the bottleneck, and there's another bottleneck there, right? So we got to fix these two as the priority, and that's the business process reengineering. So we like cut off the entire department, or we merge. Which way is better? Better in what sense? Better in terms of reducing manpower, or is it better in terms of reducing flow time? Better because this way is lower cost, gives the same result than the other one, or so, you know. So we got to evaluate all these, and these are process reengineering is a big consultancy project because it demands knowledge from many things, including obviously the financial knowledge, right? About uh, the various purchases of machines, uh, the ongoing maintenance costs, right? You may buy an expensive machine, but then you hardly need much maintenance cost in the subsequent years. But then this cheaper alternative might need high maintenance support. It's a bit like HP, just reminds me of this. The recent models, the recent home use laser printers, right? Laser printers are not new, but they are so cheap. That's surprising to me because laser printers are still, I think maybe how long, 7 8 years ago, it was selling at $400 $500, considered cheap, but currently it's $100 over with discount maybe $80, right? So that's so cheap, right? So it's like, wow, basically giving away the printer. So how does HP make money? Oh, the toner itself is, in my opinion, about as expensive as buying a printer. Okay, fine. The printer is $110 there, but the toner $70, right? So you go figure, huh? So that is, um to me, is still value of proposition because after all, I've tried many brands. By the way, I don't own any HP shares, but it's just personal experience with the different brands because when I saw another brand that starts with B, uh, it's cheaper. So I say, wow, good, right? At the time, laser printer $400. This brand, I don't know, 280 or something, right? So like very attractive, but the cartridges leak, and after a while it dries up, and you know, things like that. So no good. So still I fall back to HP. But my point is, process reengineering requires a lot of knowledge from all aspects, right? So you have to have a team to think through. Radically redesign. So there's like, what if we don't have our existing factory? Let's just tear apart our current plans. What if we are setting up a new factory? What if, right? What if? You can always do that, right? No mental exercise. What if we are setting up a whole new factory? Can we maybe at a much more surprisingly low cost directly achieve or even exceed the required increase in capacity? Yeah. So this might be also a feasible way to think through. Reevaluating the purpose of the process and underlying assumptions, right? That's the invisible reason why certain resources are there, certain supervisors, people are there. Okay, what are the assumptions, right? Maybe there are two supervisors stationed at a particular resource machine. Why, right? Why, right? So we ask, oh, because this involves cutting the steel with a sharp saw or laser, right? And is we think it's dangerous, so it's better to have two pairs of eyes, two supervisors. But is that necessary, right? So that's re-examining the underlying assumption. Is that over worrying? We're talking about laser machine that has self, checking protection and laser leak monitoring constantly being on, and that device, that machine has internally closed circuits where if the monitoring of the laser leak is broken, is failing, the whole machine cannot start, right? Something like that. The kind of self protect design. And given such high safety, high spec machine, is it still necessary? So this is one example about, let's ask, what are the underlying assumptions or reasons that result in what we see today? So maybe we can reduce or remove. Okay, why are there no supervisors? Maybe it's the other way around. Why is it that this particular station using high energy laser to cut steel beams have no one supervising, monitoring? Also, the underlying assumption is, oh, because this is a high spec machine, it has all the self-check safety design and everything. That's why we don't need people. Let's check again, right? Is that really a good assumption? We better have someone stationed there, right? So this is what we talk about. Just ask again the underlying reasons. Okay. So that's all I have to say about this slide. Thank you, and see you in the next